Now, in the event you need to add an item to the actual unit itself, in other words, it's physically going to be attached to the unit, and we need to get the service department involved in order to get that item put on there, we need to create a job. And this is going to end up creating an internal ticket, and we're going to put all the details on here just like we would a regular service ticket. Now, you need to understand that by simply adding the job to the unit cell, we have not told the service department to do anything. We're basically just creating the installation job so that we have the numbers and the information that we need on the deal. We can print our forms, we can do all kinds of stuff with that information being part of the deal. But at some point, we're going to need to actually tell it to create the internal tickets and get the shop to do the work. In this video, I'm going to kind of go through the step of adding the job and putting some parts on it so you can kind of see how it works. And then you just need to understand that at some point when you're ready for the service department to actually go do the work, you need to come up here and click this extra button here, which will then create the internal tickets for the shop to start working on things. So what we're going to do is we have a unit attached to this deal. Any accessories, non-inventory or non-installed items like helmets and jackets, they get put here. But we're going to go right here to this little plus sign for adding a job to this unit. So we're just going to click that. It's going to open up the information about that particular job. We're going to, for right now, we'll just leave it as an estimate. We're just going to tell it that this is going to be an installation job. So we're going to be installing parts on this unit. And then we're just going to give it a title. So we'll say install new handlebars, whatever it is that you're going to be doing. You can see that it's attached to the unit that we clicked the plus sign on, so there's nothing to do there. Most of the time, this stuff isn't going to really apply unless you're going to charge the customer for putting the handlebars on. So let's say that in this particular case, it takes an hour to put those bars on, so we're going to charge an hour worth of labor. And then for the service required, we're just going to put installed new Nerf bars, whatever it happens to be, and put in the detail of what it is that you did on this particular job. So I'm going to go ahead and save the job. And now you can see that for this unit, I have an install job here, but obviously the $85 labor is not all that's involved in this particular process. So we also need to come here on the job and click the plus sign here for adding items. So we're just going to click on add items, and I'm just going to throw something on here just to kind of show you how it works. But we'll just come in here, we'll add the part that we're going to be adding, and we'll add and close the item. Now, what this has done now is we have an installation job. It's going to charge $85 to the sales department, because remember, the sales department is who's requesting from service to do this work. So this is not necessarily what we're going to charge the customer. This is what we're going to get charged from the sales department or from the service department to sales. Here's the part. And this is the price that we're going to charge to the sales department to buy the part, or what we're going to actually eventually sell to the customer. Now, because this is an installation job, this part will show up on any documents that we print related to this unit. But the main thing that we need to understand is that this job is something scheduled between sales and service. It's not between sales and the customer. And so what that means is that if I come up here right now and I edit the unit itself, and we take a look at some of the options that we have here, right here is setup, PDI, and installation. And notice right now that there's $85 worth of installation, and then there's $115 worth of installed parts that are going to go on this deal. Well, this is what sales is going to have to pay to the service and the parts department to get those items. This is what we're going to actually charge the customer for putting those items on. So if, for example, the sales department wants to charge $100 to install those, they're being charged $85 from the shop, but we're going to charge $100 back to the customer. So we're going to make $15 worth of extra profit here on that install. And then for the attached Nerf bars, this is what we're being charged from service or from parts, and we're going to go ahead and mark that up to $125 for the Nerf bars for the sales department. So we're again going to make a little bit of profit here. So you kind of have to keep the distinction between what you're being billed from the service and parts department to what you're going to bill the customer. So what you're billing the customer is actually specified in the unit information itself. And then when you break down here and open up, you can actually see the jobs and the parts that you're going to be billed from the different departments that you're getting the items from. So it is kind of a two-step process, and it's done that way to make sure that you've got complete flexibility to be able to get things and actually make profit on what you're actually having done to the unit, in addition to what the different departments are charging the sales department to do the work.